Recorded.
All right.
Connie,
All
you
right.
see what happens when you get up and leave the room?
All right.
Randy, do you want to say that again now that it's being recorded?
Yeah.
Only if Doug is going to repeat himself.
All right.
You know, I will say, you know, that the corporate membership thing, you know, how things kind of come full circle. And that was Rotary, and yesteryear was most of the members were sponsored by a corporation, whether it was a bank or major company in town or whatever. So Chemo has taken a page out of the past and made it work for North Hawaii. So good job, Chemo.
Thank you, Randy. We'll make you proud this year.
Okay.
So Connie, would you like to share how you were able to bring on 7 new members in 1 month, and you've got I know you've already brought in 3 this month, and you got 3 more to bring in.
About 5 or 6 more, I think. But we have Helene and Helen from our club, and who are on our membership committee right now. And maybe Helene would like to share. She's our membership director, and I think I would like her to share.
I
Helene.
didn't realize Helene was on, so that's perfect.
I just got on now. Okay, it's because we have 2 strong arms in our committee. And that's, well, Nancy Cabral is actually the co-chair, and she's a strong armor, and so is Connie. What we did was we just, you know, thought of people that would make good Rotarians, and we just contacted them. And I don't know, our club is really excited now to bring in new members. I brought in a new member from College of Pharmacy. She's the assistant chancellor, and she was so impressed when she came to our first meeting. She said, wow, so much energy, so much fun, everybody's so friendly. So she brought to the second meeting, she brought one of her colleagues, and that woman, Christina, was very excited. So Laura told me at the next meeting, she's going to invite 2 more people. One is an instructor at the College of Pharmacy, and I don't know who the other one is, but it's like a, I don't know, what do you call it? It's like a fever right now. Yeah. And I think it's just, it's the excitement of the members, really. Yeah, Connie.
Yep.
And people are, well, Rotarians are very friendly, right? So everybody, we have a welcome team, and they make them feel welcome. You know, Jeannie Phillips, she's always, her personality is just contagious. So I think that's part of it. And we have a lot of things going on too, a lot of activities. So, and Connie sends us tons of emails to say what's happening and the calendar of events and so forth and so on. Is that good enough, Connie?
So
Helene
Randy,
is
what we'd like to
hard
do,
Huh?
what we'd like to do, Randy, is to go through several steps and talk about how-tos. And so the first part is how to get new members, and we want to brainstorm. And then we have Avery, who's going to talk about Avery Kinnery from the Honolulu Pauhana Club, who's going to talk about good customer service, your members as customer, and then Benson is going to talk about engagement. But I want to start with a video from Jennifer Jones, and this is about membership. So I'm going to share this video with all of you from Jennifer Jones.
Hello, fellow Rotary leaders. I am so happy to be speaking to you today, and I'm excited to share this leadership journey with all of you. As club and district leaders, you are central to the health of our clubs and our districts. There's so much that each of us can do to help create club experiences that are welcoming, inclusive, and enjoyable for each and every member. And just as importantly, how we're able to extend that same warmth and belonging to every participant who wishes to engage with our clubs. Over and over, our surveys find that the comfort and care of our members is the single greatest driver of member satisfaction, and it's our most powerful tool to keeping our members engaged in our clubs. This comfort and care philosophy begins with listening. We need to understand why our members took the leap and joined us, and we need to know what they expect from us. What do they want out of their Rotary involvement? And how do they aspire to change and influence our communities and our world through their membership? To build stronger clubs, we should aim to understand the needs and expectations of new members right from the start. And we need to keep taking their temperature regularly to see if those expectations are being met or what we can do to help them get more out of their Rotary experience. These touch points will reassure members that they're being heard and that we care about their comfort and satisfaction. We know our members find their way into Rotary through many diverse paths. We also know the outcome if they're not taken care of. They leave Rotary. Traditionally, many clubs conduct exit interviews to see why a member has decided to leave, and this is a valuable tool. That said, if we're only checking in after a member has chosen to leave, we're too late. Let's check in annually with our members by conducting and acting on the results of member satisfaction surveys. And let's incorporate entrance interviews into our process, asking what they want from their membership and then helping them to achieve their dreams. In the coming months, watch for an array of communications that will support you in your leadership role. These valuable resources are designed to help you and your club members to enrich your experience as people of purpose, people of influence, people of action. A big part of that work is honoring Rotary's commitment to diversity. We know that clubs that are thriving have a culture that is inclusive and welcoming. Our Learning Center provides a wealth of tools to help all Rotary members commit to diversity, and we hope you'll share these plans and become champions of this important endeavor. Another tool to support you is our Membership Leads online platform. This is a great tool that helps clubs identify prospective members that might be the right fit for their club. As leaders, this is an amazing opportunity to follow up with tens of thousands of prospective Rotary and Rotaract members each and every year. These are people who want to be part of us. Imagine the impact we could make with new members who offer fresh perspective, expertise, and energy. And there's one more thing that I believe that's so important in providing a comfortable, caring club experience for your members, and that's communication. We'll be helping you and your new members by providing a series of messages directly to new members over the course of their first year of membership. This will help new Rotary members to get to know the full range of opportunities that we offer. So, we have a lot to be excited about and some work ahead of us, but I couldn't ask for a better team of leaders to work with, and thank you for your Rotary service and your leadership. Imagine how we can grow Rotary when we focus on the comfort and care of our Rotary family.
Okay, what do you guys think? That was a good message, wasn't it? Yep. So what we'd like to do is have a breakout session after this and some whiteboards to share ideas. But you know, the membership workshop that we just recently had was like a high level of membership and what we look like. But what we'd like to do is drill down and see what solutions that you can come up with to move forward. So, you know, not long ago, we did a survey to find out what presidents needed. And one of the items that came up most was how to grow the club. And we know that that is still something that's important to all of you. And, you know, the solution is simple, but it's hard to do, right? And so to grow your club, you need to add new members and keep the ones you have. Simple, right? But not exactly. So how do you get new members? Let's talk about that. So the ones you've heard about, each one bring one, right? And we had an each one reach one campaign long ago, And it was because membership was top of mind. We tracked it, the activities monthly. And then we started, I think in 2006 and 7. And at that time we had 2,035 members. But, you know, by the end of the next year, we were down 176 members. And that kind of tells you that when we put our mind to it, you can move the dial big time. You can bring in a lot of members. But on the flip side, it's, you know, we don't want to game it for the numbers. We want to engage people so that they have a reason to stay, that they have a value proposition, that they fit, and they're going to want to be a Rotarian or Rotary member. Hey, by the way, Rotary is not using Rotarian, they're using Rotary member because we have Rotaractors. But so let's talk about how you can find new members. The fastest, easiest way is to bring one, right? You invite your friends and families, but what if you already went through all of your friends and family, and now you've really got to look. So let's talk about how we can get new members. So one thing is to, when we talk about DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, is looking at the demographics of your area. So what are you missing in your area? When you look half mile around where you meet, are there businesses that you can approach that would make good members? Are there any classifications that you're missing on professions? Or what about stakeholders in your area, nonprofits, service groups, firemen, policemen? Have an open house and invite businesses to come and just learn about Rotary, like a wine tasting. Pearl Ridge had a wine tasting and they just invited, everybody brought somebody, or a Pauhana mixer, a special speaker that people can come through. So think about if you have a business, how do you bring in new members? New customers, or rather, okay? So if our members are customers, how do you bring in new business to your business? Anybody? I'm going to do a whiteboard. If you can start writing on the whiteboard your ideas. And if you can just shout it out, unmute, and let us know what you think. Hey, Della, how do you get new business for your insurance company?
Well, I do a lot of volunteer work. Yeah, lead by example. So doing what we're doing does being visible in the community helps more people to see what we do and want to join us. I just think that it's great to have mixers, but not everybody can come to our mixers when we have our mixers or our events. So what I want to do is write a letter that talks about Rotary and to send to corporate companies and talk about it, asking them to identify an individual who is up and coming in their career and wanna be involved in the community and want to give to the community on behalf of the organization. Because the one way to for a company to, or for an individual to to join is to have the buy-in of the company that they work for, so that every event that they attend is going to be supported by their company. Being a member, everything that they do is going to be supported, that they're allowed to go and leave work to go do whatever it is that Rotary does. So that's and I think that writing a letter, I mean, what have you got to lose? You're just writing a letter, sending it out to different companies, identifying who that decision maker is, and just asking. Doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, so Della, it's make the pitch, ask for the business, and close the sale, right? So when you ask, you send the letters, you want to follow up and try and close the sale and get people who are interested in.
Yeah.
And your point about the company supporting that person, that's where the corporate sponsorships come in. And usually corporate sponsorship, one person is a member, but in Chemo's case, he said that he had 3 or was it 5 of the company and they all joined. So why not? So that's a good way to do it. especially-
If the company has the funding to pay for 3 people, great.
Right.
Yep.
Chemo, you had something?
Yes, and you make them all members and they feel they feel responsible to Rotary, and you make members out of them. You develop that Rotary spirit through the corporate membership. Instead of just having the CEO or CFO be the main member, you develop that relationship with each one of those members. That's key in the corporate membership model that we've developed. And I think it can be very, very effective, especially if you target, as Naomi says, target those businesses out there that are near you, people that you know, and then go to the CEO, CFO and just say, who could be a good Rotarian in your group, and build from there, build that relationship. Because as we know, Rotary is all about relationships.
Exactly. And, getting the corporate members in, you can help them with their leadership skills and develop a leadership track. And you're helping the company, and this is value added, that the company is getting something out of it as well. Hey, so Mark, how do you get new business for your company? Mark Merriam.
For us, a lot of it's by word of mouth and doing successful projects for folks so they tell their friends, making sure they have a good business experience, and encouraging their friends to come to us too.
Yep. And exactly, you got to give them a reason, and your good customer service is going to keep those people here. And word of mouth, you want to spread the news about a company that you got a good customer service. So, customer service.
Also, Naomi, would be to provide value and to make sure we're providing value for the services that we provide. And so people feel good about the value they're getting. They're giving us money for a project, so we want to make sure it's valued. And Rotary is so similar in that we need to provide value to all of our members.
Exactly. Thank you very much. So we'll talk about how to give value to your members. But for now, let me take off this screen.
I want to just mention one more thing, Naomi, and that is the attitude of wanting to give back. Your business has done well, or you've done well as an individual, and you want to give back. And Rotary, I think the more we use that example of who we are and service above self, and we say, most of us have become successful in our life, and one of the things that's real important for us is to give back, and use Rotary as a way to do that. And I don't think we use that way of attracting new members enough. I don't think we say that enough as individuals. I joined Rotary because I want the opportunity to give back. And I think that's something we really have to really talk to when we talk to new members. This is an opportunity for you to give back. So I think that's a real key phrase that we need to use over and over again.
Yep. Thank you. Okay, so we talked about good customer service, and want to let Avery, in her company teaches customer service to her employees. And so I asked Avery to come and talk about how to give good customer service where the customers are your members. So Avery.
You're muted, Avery.
Sorry about that. I'm Avery with the Rotary Club of Honolulu, Pauhana. First up, I'm going to apologize because I'll be reading off of my notes. I organized my thoughts on Friday, and then I went to 2 different concerts this past weekend, so I didn't have time to memorize my text. But I think I sent my outline to Naomi, so if she could share that with everyone. So you could have something to go off of online. Okay. Customer service, pretty much in a nutshell, in every industry, it's about value and being valued. So what that means for Rotary is value. Members are receiving something of value in exchange for their time, effort, and money put in. And valued, they are being valued by their fellow club members, their Rotary community, their local community, etc. How do we put that into practical application on the club level? Let's start with retention. When it comes to membership, we can educate members on simply the history of your club, what makes your club unique, how it has evolved over the years. Also, educating the members on the importance of giving to the foundation, educating them on the history of Rotary. I think knowledge of Rotary goes a long way. When you're a club member and you're ignorant of the history of Rotary, I think that's a disadvantage. So I find that a lot of the newer members of our club, they don't have that knowledge. So I think we need to get back to maybe at least once a year having that talk about, or maybe doing even a fun trivia game. I think we've done that in the past where we throw out questions about Rotary and they can learn facts about Rotary International. Another facet of customer service when it comes to membership and retention is getting to know your fellow club members, cultivating relationships with them. I've made some lifelong friends in Rotary and I've had the most fun over the years with them. And it keeps me coming back for more. Inclusivity is another way to incorporate customer service within the club. You need to invite every single member to all the meetings, all the club events, any and all fellowships, conferences, conventions, pretty much everything. I have two stories to share on this. Last year, our past president, Ryan, needed to fulfill a criterion for the Club Excellence Award. And he needed a member to join a fellowship for that criteria. And I volunteered to join the Wine Fellowship. It's a fellowship I've been wanting to join for years. And it's one of those things that was out of sight, out of mind. And when he put it out to the club, I need one of you to join a fellowship so we can qualify for this award. I volunteered with no hesitation. Second story, a lot of you know past President Ted Young from my club. He attended the Rotary Convention in Hamburg, Germany. I know there was a bunch of details that went into why and how he attended that convention, but nevertheless, Ted was always an active member of our club. He was a director, foundation chair for many years, and also just, a member at large. But let me tell you, after he attended that convention in Germany, the next year he signed up for president-elect. And it was like the Rotary bug was activated within him and he was committed. So it was as simple as attending an event like that lifted the Rotary veil for him. We should also celebrate our members' milestones, birthdays, anniversaries, promotions, retirements. And we don't have to do them all individually. We could all do it collectively. But those are nice little touches as a group and as a club that we could do to honor our members. Accountability. Sometimes club members seem to drop off the radar. They don't show up to meetings. They stop chiming in on emails. At that point, I think we should always check in on them. make sure they're okay. Sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's another type of hardship. As a fellow Rotary member and as a friend, I think it's our duty to make sure that they're doing fine and to re-invite them to join the club. Engagement. I think this is where it gets key for keeping members within the club. It's just getting them involved with leadership. My second year in the club, and I'm a charter member with my Rotary Club, by the way, I was involved as the club service chair. And from then on, I was hooked. The next year, I was president-elect and then president. And from then on, I was just always in some form or fashion on the board of some sort, or was always some sort of support role for the board or some sort of director. But leadership isn't for everyone. So there's always a committee that you could invite them to join. You'd be surprised to how someone is willing to take the back seat and willing to take on support duties to someone who has a leadership role. Let's see. Oh, another way to get them engaged is to ask them to take on a certain area, take on a task of an area of need for the club. Somehow I became the unofficial party planner for our club. And from here on out, I plan all the parties for my club. I don't know how that happened, but it's what it is. And also I am now the spearhead director for the dictionary project year after year. And also, you should always remember to have fellowships. I think what it boils down to is that camaraderie that we all look forward to, is being there with each other. Nothing can replace that. Customer service when it comes to new members. It goes far beyond inviting someone to a meeting and have them sit through it. I think we should start inviting them to service projects. I think that's what worked for our club early on when we grew our membership the most, is we started inviting them to our service projects. And that's where they bought into the whole idea of volunteering and joining Rotary. They saw the satisfaction they got into helping and volunteering and what Rotary was about. And that's when they bought into the club and they joined. When I first discovered Rotary, I had been individually myself, volunteering at soup kitchens, food banks, what have you, as an individual. But when I joined Rotary and I saw what a combined pool effort, what kind of an impact that could make, that's when it occurred to me, wow, this is something that is so much bigger and this can really make a huge impact. So that's why I saw the value and the huge value of Rotary. Also, when it comes to new members, you could ask them to participate in taking over or handling an area of expertise that they have, or something that maybe they like doing as a hobby. Case in point, past President Ryan last year had asked some of his friends to form a social media committee. None of them were Rotary Club members of our club. They were just some friends that he needed to spearhead our social media committee. And I want to say 2 out of the 3 of them had joined our club, and the third one's in the pipeline and about to join. So I think that worked out really well for us. I think these days with the economy, as tough as it is, I think what we need to do is keep a membership fund aside for new members who can't necessarily afford to join Rotary, who can afford the dues. What we've done is we've actually gone out and fundraised for a fund for new members. And what we're thinking of doing is offering and sponsoring new members and possibly asking them to pay 50-50. We pay half the dues, they pay half the dues, and we can let them pay on a monthly basis. However that works out. And with our dues, I think that's totally doable. So with that, we're opening Rotary to a lot more individuals, at least for our club. And I think we're making that an actual permanent fund where we're actually going to fundraise for it every year and keep it funded just for the purpose of new members. So pretty much in a nutshell, customer service when it comes to club membership is getting back to just that human interaction, getting to know your club members. I know we all like to do Zoom, and it's easy to Zoom, to email, to text, social media. It's so simple just to jump on the computer on your phone these days. But what I love most about Rotary is that human interaction, that face-to-face is when we come together at a meeting and we're all in the same room and we're there spending time together, making plans to volunteer or to do something for the community. I think that's what counts the most for me and why I keep coming back to Rotary. And these are just my thoughts on customer service and how it can apply to membership. It's all of us connecting on a common level, which is the commitment of giving, philanthropy, fellowship, and friendship. Thanks.
Really good job.
Okay, thanks a lot, man. That was really great. So let me take you guys on a little conversation over here for the next, well, I think we've got about 20 minutes left. But I want to talk a little bit more about engagement and about value. And so I want to share this picture with you real quick. Okay, and some of you guys know this guy. Who knows this guy? Somebody say his name. Laura, you know this guy. All right, this is
Harold
Ohata.
Yes, indeed.
All
Who
right, so
sponsored my husband into Rotary, which is why I'm in Rotary.
yeah.
Yay!
So Harold Ohata is in our club. He's 95 years old. Harold Ohata has been a Rotarian now for 63 years. Out of those 63 years, he had 50 years, 50 years of perfect attendance. That means he came every single week for 50 years. Okay, now Harold, we hadn't seen him, right? Since the pandemic, he sort of went underground, right? We hadn't seen him for a while. But all it took to get Harold at a meeting is call him up. Harold, how are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. All right. And Harold will come there. Now, this is a guy who's got a lot of history about Rotary, knows a lot about Rotary. All right. But if you ask him, so Harold, why did you join Rotary? He'll tell you, oh, I joined because of my boss told me I need to join. It was a business thing. But so Harold, why have you been in Rotary now for 63 years? And Harold will say, it's because I love the people and the things that we did. All right. So I'm going to go around and you guys know me, right? I'm going to call you. So you better start thinking about what you're going to say. So here's our value proposition, right? So the value proposition for Rotary is, why would you want to be in Rotary? And my guess is that these guys that are just that are putting a lot of people in like Hilo, right? My guess is that they understand that. So part of the value proposition is this for me, right? I got in Rotary, same reason why Harold did. I thought it'd be good for my business. I stayed in Rotary because of the quality of the people that are in Rotary, right? And I tell you, I've said this story before. When I was about 6 years old, I asked my dad, hey, Dad, what am I going to be when I grow up? And of course, he just laughed about that. You're going to grow up. And so he said, son, you're going to be whatever you're around the most. Now, I never understood that because I was a kid. And when you're a kid, you're just thinking about when's dinner, right? So 50 years later, I finally understood what he meant. He meant the people that you will surround yourself with, you're going to end up being like them, right? So for me, when somebody asks me, so what's the quality, what is your proposition, your value proposition for Rotary? Why do you want to be in Rotary? And for me, it's simple, right? Quality people equals quality life. I found for myself, just in the short 7 years I've been in Rotary, that my life has increased in quality because I've been around quality people. And quality people, of course, do all kinds of really quality things. So, you know, in Hawaiian culture, we have this thing called ho'ihi, it's respect. And respect is about giving vai or value to people. And I believe that when you start giving value to people, and then of course you let them know that, they will join whatever you're involved in, giving them value. So now I'm going to go around. We'll start with my buddy Lane over here, because every time I look at Lane, I think, man, what's the next whiskey I'm going to drink after the meeting's over? So Lane, I'm going to pass it to you. And I want you to just chat a little bit about what's your value proposition for Rotary.
You know, value proposition will definitely be, like you said, you increase your quality of life by giving. It's been proven scientifically, like, the more you give, the happier you are, because we all naturally want to give. And when we do give, we feel good. We feel great. We feel amazing, right? And we feel excited. And I think, you know, that's my value proposition is, just like Avery said, and you said, Benson, the quality of people that I met in Rotary, not just in Hawaii, but not in America, but around the world, you know, it's just a beautiful hana of beautiful people. So that's what I believe Rotary is to me, and why I love Rotary.
You know, thanks, Lane. That's really great. So one of the things Harold Ohata will tell you in his 63 years in Rotary, he'll say that, you know, the world has changed a lot and things have changed a lot in the world. But the reason why people still are interested in Rotary, that hasn't changed in over 100 years, since Paul Harris started it. They join it because their value proposition is really about the people that are in Rotary. And I think lots of people have said that. So Laura Steelquist, I wanted to call on you tonight because you've seen a lot in Rotary, right? You've seen a lot of things change. And so what's your sense of value about where Rotary is at today?
Yeah, I haven't quite made it to Harold's 95 years, but I'm 20 years behind him. I'm working really hard, kind of thing like this. Now, you know what you've touched on already, the quality of the people. And as Lane mentioned, quality of the people around the world. I come to my club as much as I can every single week because I love the people in the club. Yeah. But I go to international conventions because I'll get a chance to run into the district governor from Egypt that we saw, you know, when we went over to his district conference. And walking down the hall, there's a good chance that that Ravi Ravindran, past president of Rotary, will come up and throw his arms around us and say, hello, aloha, we're happy to see you. Cliff Doctorman, before he passed away, every time he saw us, a big aloha down the hall. Those are the kinds of people that I would never have had a chance to meet. But I'm in Rotary because I want to give back. whether it's the kids at Palolo Elementary School, all the way up to the Kapuna and to the homeless people who have now homes, watching Naomi Masuno on her skateboard running around painting the baseboards at Kahuiki Village, and everything that Rotary did for that group of people, and so much more to do. We can't stop now. We just keep going. But that's why I'm aerobic. I'm so excited about it.
Thanks, Laura. That's really great. Kevin, I wanted to call you, Kevin McCurry. What's your thought? What's your value proposition about Rotary? So if you ran into somebody or somebody somebody from work says, hey, Kevin, what's this Rotary thing, man? Why are you in that?
Well, to me, Rotary is about giving back to the community. I'm a strong believer and always have been in giving back to the community we benefit from, we live in. And to me, Rotary really is a group of very fun and interesting, like-minded people who believe in their community and a way of giving back to their community. It's fun, it's the people, it's the giving back. That's as rewarding as it gets. It's like what you said, it's the community giving, it's the people, they're fun, they're interesting. It's a great way to really give back to your community on a bigger scale than you can do by yourself.
Yeah, great one, man. That is awesome. Hit the nail right on the head. Keisha, what about you? I see you sitting there. You got your big smile on your face. So I know Keisha's brain's always going. What's your thought, Keisha?
So I thank you so much, Vincent. I agree with what everyone has stated, but I also have another point. If I were to think about it in a more practical way, I would say my value-based proposition is that I get more bang for my buck. As Avery stated, there were a lot of community service events that I did on my own. I fed the homeless by myself, and I went on Facebook Live and said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. If you want to join me, you come right on out. And people sent me money and they came and it was nice. But then once I got connected with my Rotary Club, I saw that it was happening on a much larger scale, not just in our state, but throughout the world. And so as a teacher, I always think about budgets. I always think about where can I get the most bang for my money? And when I make a contribution in any capacity in Rotary, I know it reaches the world, and I can't do that alone. So, and then I get to do that with quality people, friendly people, people that, as Laura stated, I never would have met. I can't wait to do something internationally so that I can have the opportunity to meet people there as well. So it opens a world that I may not have reached solo. And it stretches my dollars in ways I could never have imagined.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. So let's shift in the last few minutes that we have now and talk, talk about these great people that are coming into Rotary now. And it's really exciting to have great people. And I think when Helene was on, she was just talking about the energy that new people bring. And we've had a few new people in our club now. And so our club's been really kind of energized. So my question now is like, so how do we keep really good people? How do we make sure that the people that we bring in now, that 63 years from now, they're still in our club? So Eva, what do you think?
Okay, first, friendly friendship with our members. And also, my value of the Rotary Club is the valuable opportunity to help people in the global.
Okay.
How do we keep the members, the Rotarians? We keep meeting, communication. Communication is very important. No communication, no doubt.
Yeah. Okay. Paul Nakachi,
Do I answer your
what do you think? Yeah. That's basically my question. What's your thought about that? Paul, I see you over there.
And also training too. Training, if you not attend the training, you learn nothing. Sorry to disturbing you.
No, that's okay. That's one of the best ways to build leadership is training. So go ahead, Paul. You can answer now.
What was the question again, Benson?
So the question is, so you've got some new members in your club now. So how are you going to keep these guys? How are you going to keep them engaged? Keep them, make sure that 60 years from now they're still in Rotary. What's your plan? What's your thought about that?
Well, Benson, we did recruit a lot of good people. I think it starts there. You have to recruit good people that's good for Rotary, people who love to get involved in the community, and people who like to just share their enthusiasm, share their worth, share everything they can with the community and giving back to the community. I think Mililani Sunrise is very fortunate to have these people join the club, invited to the club, who wants to give back to the community. And even though if they're not going to hit 63 because we're in our 70s already, we're not going to hit that 63, one thing in common they have, Benson, is they all love to volunteer. It doesn't matter what the project might be. We just had this past Thursday, it was Pedestrian Safety Month. And like last year, we have the town center at Mililani coordinate this, and we go out to the busiest corner in the MTA area, and we wave signs there. And these people just to share that time, go out there, wave signs, and maybe it's dangerous, but a lot of the drivers are honking their horns because they see what we're doing. And these are the kind of projects, besides, the educational projects that we love to do, that brings new Rotarians to our club. And we're going to continue with that. So thanks, Vincent, for giving me that opportunity.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Paul. Paul hardly says anything, but he's always got a lot to say. So, Helene, I see you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you know why you talked about retaining our new members, right? I think one of the ways that's really important is to find out what their strengths are and to use their strength to get involved with the club. Like we have a brand new member, Don DeCoito, and Connie knew that she was very, very high-tech person. So we got her to do new member spotlight. Yeah, Connie, and she's so excited to do it. I mean, she's doing such a great job of introducing new members to our club with all this fancy stuff she does on the internet, which I can't do. And then we have a relatively new member who has such a sparkling personality all the time. She's always positive and up. So we use her on our care committee. So she's welcoming people, when they come to the meeting. So use their strengths, use the new member strengths to make them feel valuable, So that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you, Helene. So Sandy Matsui, your club had a big explosion last year in members. So what's your thought about developing and keeping those members?
I think this is where the work begins, right? We can't just be a revolving door. It doesn't matter if you bring 5, 10, 20, 100 in, if you're going to lose twice as many at the end of the year. And I think this is such an important conversation that we're having, because this is where the work begins. When you bring in new members, they're not just going to stay there just because we're all good people, though some may. We've got to get in there and find out, what are they about? What do they want? What charges them? What excites them about being here, and help to meet those needs. And, we've been talking a lot about new members, which is really important. But you know what, guys? We're losing a lot of our continuing members. You know that in the month of May, we were over 1,508 members. And then suddenly on July 1st, we dropped down to 1,400. Was it 32 or 33? Those aren't necessarily new members. Those are members that have been around that have lost interest. right? So we've got to just try to keep that balance going. And it's tough and it's work. It's not easy, but together we can imagine Rotary and serve with the low hand. We can do it together.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Sandy. That is a really, really crucial thing, right? Is that we look a lot at new members, how many new members are coming in, but we got to really focus on that number, how many are going out. So I see Naomi's unmuted, which means she's ready to say something. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Naomi. Okay.
Thank you. And, in some cases, we're preaching to the choir because you guys are doing a really great job in your club. But Benson has this phrase, it's Hale Vai Vai, right?
Yeah.
So Hale Vai Vai is your house and make it a quality house. Was that the definition?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you.
So all of you are in charge of your house. You're the hostess for your house. Your house is your club. And so it's in your hands to do something, to take action within your club. And, Benson talks about putting things on the calendar so things get done. Put it in your calendar that you're going to do a membership drive or you're going to do a social. Schedule things out so things get done because it's in your hands as the membership chair or leaders in your club to build this or maintain this Hale Vai Vai. Right, Benson?
Right. Wow, that was great. You remembered that. That's so awesome. Okay, so hey, we're getting right up on the 8 o'clock hour, and some of us have been on this thing 2 hours now. So any final thoughts, suggestions? Randy, I see your click back in there, man. So you're ready for that wind up right there. Go ahead, Randy. Any last comments?
Well, I can't say how much I appreciate, this many folks, hanging in there, for the presidents. I mean, this is 2 hours running, and for Doug, it's 3 hours running or 2.5 hours running. And, Doug is no spring chicken like me. So, this is really stretching it for guys like us. But no, thank you all so much for your comments and hanging in there with us. You're going to hear me talk about membership from now until 30 June. And I'm not going to let up until the 30th of June until I'm kicked out and Mark is dragging me out with the claws on the office door. But it's going to be membership. And I take a page out of past District Governor Iman's thoughts and expression to me back when I was getting ready to become president. He said, take care of membership, everything else will follow. Don't worry about anything else. Just take care of membership. And here 6-7 years later, I just think he's so spot on. Take care of membership, take care of your people, that are in your club. Jennifer talks about loving and caring for our existing members. I think some of us do a really, really good job of that. And that's the reason why, we're continuing to maintain our strengths is because of that loving and caring piece. But it goes back to what Iman said, take care of membership, everything else follows. I mean, you got many more hands on projects. You got many more people contributing to the foundation. And when we think about things and, on where we were at and where we're at today and where we're going to go into the future, it just, I don't want to dwell on anything that's happened in the past. I just want to go forward in the future, on where we're at, what my goals are, to increase the district membership by 143. That's 10% of where we're at now today. And it's going to take a tremendous amount of effort on everybody's part, not just my part on wanting to increase the membership. But success is defined by a net increase in your club of 1. That's the definition of success. Net increase of 1. Just don't continue down the rabbit hole. And as not for this district, but North America as a whole has slid. We're at 1.4 million members today because membership has increased in Asia, decreased in North America, but increased in Asia. But I think that we can make a concerted effort. We can turn that ship together. Right, Connie?
Right.
I
Okay.
always love to pick on Connie a little bit because I'll be for many obvious reasons, but love to pick on Connie. So, and she has been so quiet tonight. I mean, that's amazing. Don't unmute yourself now. It's too late.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's because we've had her muted permanently. Yeah.
Benson always mutes me. I try to talk and he mutes me
As
right
soon as she
away.
unmutes, I just move right in there.
Yeah,
and mute
he
her.
does. And then you know what? And then after you scolded Susie, I was afraid to unmute.
I didn't scold Susie.
You did scold
I
her.
would just-
Shame on you.
All right.
I'm never
Just-
opening my mouth again. I'm all
Okay,
scared.
gang.
See?
Hmm.
Don't be
All right.
afraid of Randy, everybody. He's
It's
just
a-
like his bark is worse than his bite.
Yeah, cream puff.
Right. So
But
we got the
let's
word.
all do great things, and really,
Right.
really thank you so much for spending this much time in an evening with us to do good in Rotary. It's really totally awesome
Yeah.
and 2 minutes overdue. So back to you, Benson, Naomi.
Yeah, just thanks a lot. Aloha, everybody. It's good that you guys joined us tonight, and we'll see you at the next training.
Hello, everyone.
See you later. Take care. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Hello.